Saturday morning. I'm in bed reading a book about the menopause by Cathy Abernethy. Now, she is a award-winning menopause specialist nurse and the chair of the British Menopause Society, with over 20 years of clinical experience in the field of menopausal health. Now, I should play it. So there's a chapter here, Chapter 7, Menopause and Work, page 227. A section here that just stood out. So it's unlikely that you will need to take much time off because of menopause. What? Really? And there's no requirement for you to explicitly disclose menopause as being the reason you are off sick. So this is obviously if you're employed. If you take time off because of debilitating symptoms, fatigue or anxiety, for example, well, there's no mention of depression there. There is no requirement to be specific on the self-certification forms or GP-issued fit notes. So what you're going to put, if you self-certify, I don't know what it is actually because I haven't been employed for quite some time now. I think you can self-certify for, I don't know, 2 weeks or something, who knows. Anyway, I'll link it up in the description. Is my camera focusing? Seems to go in and out of focus, sorry if it's doing that. So if you take sick leave because you can no longer cope with your workload or do the job effectively because of how you feel, you may decide that this does need to be disclosed because small adjustments may make work life more manageable. So I was just reading the start of this book, and she contradicted herself here because they were talking about that how it's not taboo, menopause isn't taboo, and people are talking about it more in the workplace, and she makes some points about what to do if people are mocking you. You know, you can imagine sort of ignorant people mocking women for it, and as happens, whatever, you just got to rise above it. So you may feel that you have to decide to disclose. It does not need to be disclosed because small adjustments. Okay, so surely you would have to speak to occupational therapy, because there's a lot of joint pain. Hey, that's my cat in the background. A lot of joint pain. Hello. You're interrupting my video. Yeah, a lot of joint pain and musculoskeletal issues, which also aren't really detailed in this book. I mean, she doesn't go into full details of the symptoms for what I've read. I'm on, I don't know, page 20 something. So I'm going to keep flicking through this book, and I may do another video once I've read a bit more of it. But yeah, it's okay. There's some stuff about websites and books in the back. There's a whole list of things in the back. Some websites I've never heard of, which you don't unless you're looking into this stuff anyway. So yes, quite a few. Yeah, NHS standard, all the standard stuff. I bet mine's in here, the charity for mental health. No? Therapies. Oh, reflexology and acupuncture, that's good. I like that they put that in there. Yeah, cognitive behavioural therapy, wouldn't bother with that. It's like sticking a sticking plaster basically over your issues. It can help on a surface level, but it gets you to compartmentalise if you've got underlying mental health problems. But some people may find it successful, but I've had it before where I was sent to an occupational therapist on the NHS and I was misdiagnosed with PTSD. I'll discuss that in another video. Anyway, read some books, free from the library. It's a little bit reflective because it's a library book. So get those from the library, get as many books as you can is my advice. Read up on your condition, find out as much as you can about it. There might be something in there that you didn't realise. She takes you through the cycles, the perimenopause, and what menopause actually means. It seems to be confusing really. Points about the stages of menopause and perimenopause. So she says here that perimenopause is the stage up until your periods stop for a whole 12 months. So it's quite confusing actually how they talk about it and explain it. So you're considered post-menopausal if you haven't had a period for more than 12 months. So you could be in perimenopause, so confusing, perimenopause until for 10 years or something, until your periods actually stop for a whole year, but then you're post-menopause. Okay, so hopefully when you're post-menopause, you don't have a period, your hormones stabilise, but that's not what I've learned from going to a menopause group, which I'm going to talk about in another video, because I've got some interesting things to say about the local menopause groups of where I am. As I'm getting ready to go to the library and take my library book back, so Cabby Dabby Dabby, can't speak again, one of those days, Cathy Abernethy, my jaw doesn't want to work today, my lower jaw, my mandible, I'm having mandible issues. I just thought, yeah, I'm taking this book back anyway, and there was a part in it that really got up my nose, where she said, some women will go through the menopause, they were just like a breeze. You're like, what? Who are those women? I've never met anyone that's, you know, going through life with raging hormonal changes and having a great time. And I thought, then it popped into my head about a beauty therapist I had once who was pregnant at the time. She was like, oh, it's a piece of cake, because she was giving me a massage. And I said, oh, just be careful with your back. I said, it must be difficult on your back. I said, I hope you get lots of rest breaks. I hope the boss has given you lots of rest breaks in between clients, you know, that kind of thing. And she said, oh no, I'm fine. Oh, it's a piece of cake, real piece of cake. And I thought, oh, that's good for you. I said, because I got PTSD when I had a baby. I got postpartum PTSD. Good for you. Some women don't, you know, some women find it difficult. I said, I hope the birth goes really well. And got up my nose. I thought, people are so insensitive. Just the way she kept saying it. It was more a body language and the way she kept reinforcing it in this undertone of condescending smugness, really. Yeah, it's just the way she said it in a sort of very smug, condescending way, narcissistic kind of vibe. I don't know if she was a narcissist, but seemed like a nice girl anyway, who knows. But no, it just got up my nose. And then in this book it said some women are going to get all the problems and going to really struggle and this, that and the other. I thought, well, yeah, I know, you know, but the ones who aren't going to struggle are probably not going to read the book, are they? Let's face it. You know, they're so fantastic, but nothing affects them in life. Everything's water off a duck's back. Oh, hot flush. Oh yeah, we just get an ice pack out the freezer, you know. Those kind of annoying people, which actually reminds me of another book I'm reading called Primal Scream by Yanoff. How people just put on a front of pretending, a pretense basically, that nothing's wrong, and they're just deluding themselves. So I was thinking, yeah, you know, she may have been okay, this pregnant lady, it may have been fine for the first 7 months. I think she was 7 months pregnant, so the last 2 might be horrible. Maybe she doesn't have IBS, so she didn't get nausea, but most women do, or most women get tired at least, you know. So fatigue denier. She was obviously a fatigue denier. But yeah, just bigging herself up. Maybe she just needed a day to big herself up, so it could have been a pretense. And then I got to thinking about a YouTuber. What's her name? Renee something. Renee, an American lady. Renee Cupcake something or other. Cupcake Trainings, which is really weird name for your channel, because she wasn't making cupcakes to my knowledge. She was doing the sort of Amazon, what do they call it, where you sell on Amazon and stuff like that. And she did an orbit, the 365 day filming of all the things that she'd tried, and she had the attention span of a gnat basically, this chick. And I think her husband was helping her, but she had loads of kids anyway, talking of pregnancy and kids and hormones and all that stuff. She had loads of kids, and then her last kid, she was like, piece of cake. It's just a piece of cake. When people say piece of cake, you know, it pops into your head and it gets up your nose because you're like, it's not a piece of cake. Menopause is not a piece of cake. Childbirth is not a piece of cake. Pregnancy is not a piece of cake. None of this stuff is a piece of cake. And if people are telling you that, then question their pretense. So yeah, in the book, I just thought, yeah, that got up my nose. I mean, why even mention it in a book? It should be something, it should be reworded to say something along the lines of, some women will be affected more than other women, you know, and not try and make people feel inadequate, because you're already feeling inadequate when you're going through all this stuff anyway. And especially when you're aging as well, and you think, oh my God, I've got this, you know, sunspot here, and I look like I've had no sleep for 10 years, which is partly true. Partly true. I haven't actually slept properly for 20 years, so I'm well used to insomnia and how to deal with it. That comes with the PMS and the perimenopause. My sleep is actually starting to get better, and for me, when my sleep gets better, I'm actually asleep for 5 hours solid without waking up. So most people would think, okay, some people who run businesses and things like that, 5 hours sleep, that's all they need and they can get up and they feel refreshed. I don't. I'm someone that needs at least 7 or 8 hours unbroken sleep to function properly. But yeah, just be aware of the pretense. Did I finish what I was saying about the cupcake lady? This is very disjointed again, isn't it? This is how my brain goes. I call it peggle brain, where you sort of bouncing from subject to subject, topic to topic. It's like ding, 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 ding. You're trying to hit the ball with the arrow. Peggle, it's called. I used to play it with my kids years ago. So yeah, this cupcake lady, back to her, this training lady, she then turned out, she's now, what was it, 2 years later, maybe 18 months later or something like that, she's now doing homesteading videos, and admitted that the birth of her last child was absolutely horrendous and really difficult. And then she was doing all this business stuff. So, you know, not that I wish that on anybody. I'm smiling just because I'm thinking, yeah, she's full of shit. These people are full of shit. But I'm not smiling because obviously I wouldn't wish that on anybody, because I've been through it and it's horrendous, having PTSD. But I thought, yeah, I'm smiling because she admitted to it and she's being a bit more real, rather than putting on this pretense of, oh, I'm fantastic, and I think she earned £1 million, or it came up on Google or something, or somebody else was reviewing her, I don't know. I found that she made me feel motivated anyway from her videos, her old videos, but it's all homesteading stuff, which everyone's jumping on that bandwagon now, sort of. Since 2020, people are paring back what they're doing and taking life a bit easier, which is what I'm trying to do. It's a battle, constant battle with yourself to try and do that and get out of the slave driver programming that you fall into, the habitual patterns of, oh, hang on, someone's just rang up for a short notice booking, and oh, well, I've got the next 2 hours free, maybe I should do it, but maybe I should also vet this client because I don't know who they are, what they're about, or, you know, where they've found my advert. The usual thoughts that go round and round and round in your head, especially when you're working from home and you don't have that sort of backup of colleagues as well to have your back if you do get a weirdo. Ow, I just poked myself in the eye talking about weirdos. You see how that energy transference happens? But yeah, that was my point anyway. People who put on a pretense and say that everything's a breeze in life, you know, and it's great. It's more often than not, it's not actually the case, and it's people just full of shit.